welcome. So, how has your day been? Okay, good. Good. So, today we are looking at mapping Africa's natural resources, nation number 32. Wow. Nation number 32. So, welcome everyone to the Mentor Show. I am your host, Dr. Olushola Ajide, and on the Mentor Show is where we inspire you, where we help you reinvent yourself, where we help you bring ideas that will help you reinvent yourself, and also bring you tips and guidance on how you can be a positive impact in your community, in your country, and also on the continent where you live. And tonight we are looking at mapping Africa's natural resources, looking at nation number 32. Now, mapping Africa's natural resources is it's been a long time coming. We've started this way back. Now, the Mentor Show runs every Tuesday, and when we don't have the Mentor Show, it's maybe we're on holiday. And if we're not on holiday, if we are having a Mentor Show, we normally have guests on the Mentor Show to inspire and to show you as template that it's possible for you to make positive impact like our guests on the show. But on the days when we don't have guests coming to our show is when we do this. Thank you. Tell us where you are joining us from. Tell us where you are joining us. If you are watching on YouTube, if you are joining us on LinkedIn, tell us which nation you are joining us from. If you are watching on Facebook, of course, if you're on Instagram, tell us where you are joining us from. So on the days like these, where we don't have guests on the show, what we have is this mapping Africa's natural resources, providing if you like, a curation of what is happening in every continent, every country on the continent of Africa. And today we are on nation number 32, whereby we are looking at what are the natural resources in the nation of Mauritania. Before now, you can see that on my timeline on Instagram or Facebook, where we've looked at from nation, or on YouTube, where we've looked at from nation number 1 up to now. We've looked at Algeria, Angola, Benin, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cameroon. We've looked at Cape Verde, Central African Republic, Chad, Comoros, Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Djibouti, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Kenya, Lesotho, Liberia, Libya, Madagascar, and the last one we had earlier this year is Mali, which was nation time. Today we're looking at Mauritania. And let me know which nation you are joining. Are you joining from any of these nations that we have looked at before? Are you let's know which nation you are joining us from. Yeah, so it's a great one. That welcome. So it's a good one. All right. So now what we normally do on this session of mapping Africa's natural resources is to look at what are those resources that are available on the continent of Africa, and particularly in the nation which we are looking at. And the reason for this is obvious. Is, like I said earlier, provide a curation for you of the natural resources that are available. These natural resources that are available, it's an opportunity for investments, is an opportunity for development. Because, like I keep saying, have you discovered the reason why you were born? Oh, my volume is quite low. You are hard to hear me. On LinkedIn, they said my volume is low. The reason why you were born. But it's quite okay here. Because my volume is quite low. You are hard to hear me. On LinkedIn, they said my volume is low. But it's quite okay here. Because my volume is quite low. You are hard to hear me. Is it okay now? Is my volume okay now? Let me know. Okay, I've increased the volume. I think you should be able to hear me now. I've increased the volume. You should be able to hear me now. You're welcome. So we're looking at Mauritania, and Mauritania is a nation that is in Africa. Mauritania is a nation in almost northwestern part of Africa, where you have, it's ahead above Senegal. You have Senegal, you have the nation bordered by Senegal beneath, Mali on the right, you have Western Sahara, the northern part of it, of this particular nation. And the nation, of course, is called the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. The Islamic Republic of Mauritania. It's a sovereign nation, and is, of course, bordered also by the Atlantic Ocean to the west, Western Sahara to the north, northwest Algeria to the northeast, and Mali to the east and southeast, and Senegal to the southwest. That's the nation, the geographical location of Mauritania. The capital is Nouakchott. Yeah. The capital of Mauritania is Nouakchott, and the currency is the Mauritanian Oguian. That's the currency that is being used. The current president is Mohamed Ould Ghazouani. The prime minister is Mohamed Ould Bilal. So the population of this nation, as of 2021, is 4.6 million, 4.615 million, as in the nation. The official language, of course, is Arabic. The official language of the nation is Arabic, and the gross domestic product of this nation is 9.96 billion USD as at 2021. As at 2021. Now, this particular nation, Mauritania, of course, it's purely in the getting to the north, into the where you have the lot of Sahara desert, as it were. So the logo, or the flag of this nation is actually 3 horizontal bars, 2 red, and of course the latter bigger part of it at the center is green, and they have the crescent on it. on that particular logo. So this particular nation became a Roman province. It was first the ancient Berber kingdom that flourished within the 3rd century, but it later became a Roman province. In other words, the Romans took over this particular nation, and as it were, it is known as some people call it the Bilad Chinquit, based on the land of the Chinguetti. The term Mauritania was officially used in the ministerial circular in 1899. Well, quite a long time ago, based on the proposal by Xavier Coppolani, which is a French military and which was a colonial leader who was instrumental in the colonial occupation of this particular nation. All right. So this particular nation, present day nation, is of course Islam, predominantly Islam. Ouch, my battery. Okay. And it was colonized by the French. It was colonized. The French rule was extended to this particular nation and colonized by the French. The French colonized this particular nation, and good evening, Chikodi. Yeah. So you have the Portuguese ruling the nation, and from then you have also the French taking over to rule over this particular. Good evening. Yeah, taking over this particular nation before it got its independence. It got its independence. All right. So what are some of the minerals? We are mapping Africa's natural resources. What are the natural resources that are available in this particular nation, Mauritania? Mauritania, we have iron ore. Mauritania has a significant amount of iron ore. So mining plays a critical role in the economy of this particular nation. Mining plays a critical role in the economy of Mauritania, because almost approximately $1.6 billion of the country's export in 2021 was from iron ore. And also, this nation also have gold. Mauritania also have gold. So, which also approximately in its revenue in 2010, $3.6 billion was from gold, which is quite impressive. Now, of course, the nation also has copper. Copper as part of the mineral resources, and the nation also has gypsum. Gypsum, it's estimated that they have 1.7 billion tons of gypsum, which is a huge quantity. The nation of Mauritania also have uranium. About 13.4 million kg of uranium resources, which the nation of Mauritania does have. Now, again, let me re-emphasize, why are we talking about this? Because you need to know what's available on the continent. You need to know the opportunities. Like I keep telling you, when we look at the seemingly challenges, we are saying there are actually opportunities that can be switched over. you can turn those challenges into opportunities. And like keep mentioning that it is you Africans, young people on the continent of Africa, that will be instrumental to the development and the advancement of the continent. So if you say, oh, I'm not from Mauritania, which nation are you from? There are opportunities also in the in the nation that you come from. And that's why we're looking at this particular, looking at these nations of uh, of of Africa, and we are on nation 32 today. So we still have a long way to go. So let's look at the this particular nation. In Mauritania, the literacy rate in Mauritania is 66.96%, which has increased from 2017. For Africa to develop, there's no way we can do without education. 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 It's important. There's a need for people to create education facilities even on the continent of Africa. So that's why we're looking at literacy. So what's the educational system or educational life in Mauritania? Of course, the French had a lot of influence on the education in Mauritania, and they have, schools being formed based on the colonial heritage. However, education in this current is compulsory between the ages 6 and 14, and even as at 2002 rather, enrollment rate was 88%. So if we look at modern day statistics, that would have significantly increased. So education is important. Education of children. So, and again, 61% of children who started primary school were likely to reach grade 5. In other words, some are dropping off. For Africa to develop, there must be education from every nook and cranny of the continent. And the opportunity is there for you and for me to provide educational facility in every nation. Now you might say, I'm not from Mauritania. Yes, you are not from Mauritania, but even in the nation where you come from, there are opportunities for you to provide educational facility, because population is still rising. Now when you look at the demography, if you look at the demography of population in Mauritania, you will see that just like every other African nation, the population of Mauritania, which is 4.1%, you have the male life expectancy of 62.77, and the female also is 67.75%. Okay. So this nation, based on the population, excuse me, based on the population, you see, you still need quite a lot of people. Now, knowing fully well that if you look at the age range of Mauritania, the age structure of Mauritania. Now, between the ages of even as of 2010, 57% are between the ages of 15 to 64. 57%. So 40% are under the age of 15. Now, this, if you look at the current statistics, this would have increased significantly. The point is, every nation on the continent of Africa is still a youthful nation. Young people. These young people need to be fed. These young people need to be clothed. These young people need to be educated. These young people need to be taken care of medically. These young people still need to be provided for. So you could see that there's a lot of opportunity, and that is the same way in every nation of Africa, that the almost 60%, if I'm going to be conservative, 60% of the population of Africa are still under the age of 25. Still a youthful continent. It's only Western parts of the world that are already at the apex, in which they have an aging population. But Africa still have a lot of things going for it because we have a youthful population. And there's a need to provide the basic things for this group of people. It's important to provide basic things. Now, when it comes to the health structure, health infrastructure, healthcare in Mauritania, when it comes to health advice in Mauritania, okay. So when it comes to health situations in the country, as at 2019, there were 645. As at 2019 in Mauritania, there were 600 and as of 2019, there were 645 medical facilities in Mauritania, including 18 general hospitals and several specialty hospitals. So it's good evening. So it means that health-wise, this particular nation is even towering higher than some other nations. But that notwithstanding, when you have a nation where you have challenges of infectious diseases, you have endemic contagious diseases like measles in Mauritania, tuberculosis, we have respiratory issues, we have malaria, guinea worm infection, schistosomiasis, you have typhoid, poliomyelitis, hepatitis, you have cholera, you have yellow fever, you have all this. There is still the need of people. Good evening, Becky. How are you today? There is need for people to bring about health facilities. We need people to be pharmacists, to do research, to find solution to all these challenges. And that's why I say there are opportunities. These health challenges are opportunities, good evening, for young people to find their purpose. We need young people who will find their purpose, like Florence Nightingale, like people that developed penicillin. Like even during COVID, we had a lot of Nigerian scientists, we have some scientists across the world who were also instrumental in the finding of vaccines that were able to tackle these kind of health challenges. So we need people to find a purpose. Why were you born? What is the purpose of your existence? You need to discover why you were born so you can begin to deploy yourself. So that's where you have these challenges. So there are challenges when it comes to the issue of education. There are challenges when it comes to the issue of health. There are challenges when it comes to the issue of health care. Okay. There are challenges when it comes to the issue of health care, even in this particular uh, nation of. Now, what of the aspect of agriculture? The agricultural life in Mauritania. So, irrigated agriculture is practiced in the nation because, like you know, water is going to be scarce because it's closer to the north, to the Sahara Desert. So, corn is what they do, barley and some millet, vegetables are grown, and they depend heavily on water. Of course, there's also fishing in the agricultural sector of this particular nation. So water is a critical thing because they do have banks, they have all these so the key point is that based on discovering why you were born, there's a need. We need people who would be able to do research and find products and seeds that can germinate. There is climate change, there's droughts across Africa. There are need for people to find the purpose of how to do research and to find seeds that can grow with minimal rain. So you need to find the reason for your existence. And that's why we keep coming on the show every Tuesday to say you need to discover your purpose, you need to know why you were born, and begin to fulfill the purpose why you were born. So if you are looking at we're looking at Mauritania today, I'm not from Mauritania, the nation where you are from, those challenges are there. We've looked at the issue of literacy rate challenges in Mauritania. We've looked at the issue of education challenges in Mauritania. We've looked at the issue of health challenges in Mauritania. We're now looking at the issue of the agricultural challenges in Mauritania. The same thing is applicable in the nation where you are living currently. So you might be the solution to those challenges in your nation. Begin to set yourself aright. Begin to be more concerned and preoccupied about being the solution for the nation where you currently exist. You were born to solve a problem. And looking at Mauritania today, the problem and challenges in Mauritania, whatever nation you find yourself, there are problems there in the health sector, in the agricultural sector, in the educational sector, in the mining, which we talk about the natural resources. So I'm looking at mapping Africa's natural resources. There are challenges also in the natural resources sector, and you are the solution to whatever those challenges are, to step up and be the change and the change maker in those sectors. So that's all we are. And don't forget, when we come and talk about these issues, we are not just talking about problems. We are highlighting these issues so that you can be able to step up and discover your own purpose and begin to set out to bring a solution. So if we are only mainstreaming these opportunities, they are not actually challenges, they are opportunities, because there's maximum room for development in all these sectors which I mentioned in Mauritania. So they are also in the country where you reside. So they are also across every nation. Like you remember when we looked at Benin Republic many months ago, when we looked at in Benin Republic, subsistence farming is still being practiced in all these African nations. And in Benin Republic then, a family can sell their children for $15. $15 they sell their children for $15 because of poverty. Can you imagine a family selling their children for $15 because they are all subsistence farmers? We need people who will develop articulated vehicles, tractors that will be used for mechanized farming, massive farming that will be able to help feed the nation where they are and also the continent of Africa. So these are the opportunities. I hope these have sparked a chord in you for you to think of, how do I be the change? How do I contribute to the development of the nation where I am currently residing, or where I am from, or nation of your birth, whereby you need to ensure that you are the solution that God has created you to be. Good evening, Catalyst Network. So thank you very much. That's our show for tonight. We've been looking at Mauritania, mapping Africa's natural resources in the continent of Africa. So whatever nation where you are watching from, you are the solution. There's a problem you can fix. Is it in the health sector? Do you have skills or the wherewithal or the money to set up hospitals? Are you a pharmacist who have the skill to do research and find the solution? You can hear all the diseases we've said that are available in Mauritania. Or are you an educationist and you have the facility to set up education? If almost 40% of the people in Mauritania are under the age of 15, so it means they need to be schooled, they need to be educated. So providing those, that's great opportunity. So are you also in the agriculture space, doing research to look at seeds that can grow and withstand droughts, seeds that can grow, that can withstand the change in climate change that we are going through? The people are having impact all over the world. There are opportunities, there are challenges, yeah, but these challenges, like I'm saying, there are opportunities for you and for me. So that's the show today. Thank you very much. For those of you on Facebook, thank you, Mr. Mike Astrop on Facebook. Thank you, Bilal, Salem Ali on LinkedIn for your feedback and for your comments and help telling me about the issue of the audio earlier. Thank you. And for those of you on YouTube, also thank you very much. For folks, of course, on Instagram, thank you for being with us today on the Mentor Show. I'll see you again on Tuesday next week. Keep safe and keep living and discovering your purpose and fulfilling and deploying the reason for your existence. God bless you and bye.